Coming up on the Angus Report, a forecast for ag markets in the coming year.
Why feeders have an eye for quality cattle.
A multi-trade approach to improving your calving season.
It takes a team to supply the nation's beef chain, and we feature early history and cattle performance and what's in store for the future.
This is the Angus Report. Hello and welcome to the Angus Report. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. President of Ag Resource Company and industry expert Dan Bosse says agriculture markets for corn, soybean, and cattle have entered into a neutral range. As we enter the final quarter of 2016, he says now is the time for cattle producers to manage costs and focus on locking in profit margin for the years ahead.
In a broad sense, it's been 2.5 to 3 years of bear market. More so in the grains, less so 1 year less in the meats. We're now kind of in this neutral range that corn's back to the 3 something or other, whether that's 325 or 350. Soybeans are back $10, and the beef market's back to $1.18. And so as we look at the markets, we don't no longer want to be as bearish, but we see the upside as being limited also. Maybe corn can rally back to 360 or 370, soybeans maybe $11, beef maybe back to 125 or 130. But saying that, that we don't see a lot of downside risk. So think about markets as range bound. And then next year, if we don't have weather problems in either South America or the United States, or see a change in the cattle herd, we'll start to see lower levels again, but it's a year away. So producers at the moment can kind of catch their breath, focus on costs, and then be prepared to work with margin and locking in profit margin, hopefully going forward.
Bosse was a recent speaker at the Feeding Quality Forum hosted by Certified Angus Beef. More from the event is available at cabpartners.com.
And when it comes to market volatility, the cattle feeding sector of the beef business can experience the most pressure from input costs and live animal prices. Alan Sentz manages a 13,000 head feed yard in central Kansas and says in times of tight margins, it's attention to quality and meeting premium standards that set their operation up for success.
As we go forward, especially in times of tight margins and the risk that we have in the marketplace, anything that can be done genetically to narrow that down and to focus on some of the premiums that are possible that way, I think gives the cow-calf producer especially a great advantage, perhaps as much as anyone in the industry, to take advantage and to be rewarded for the effort that they can put into improving genetics that way.
A recent study released by USDA predicts almost 10% of the nation's farmland is expected to change hands over the next 3 years. According to the report, 1/3 of principal farm operators were at least 65 years old in 2014, and the Economic Research Service anticipates 93 million acres will be transferred by 2019, primarily through trusts, wills, or gifts. Only about 1/4 of the land is expected to be sold between non-relatives. The study also shows that of the 911 million acres of farmland in the United States, almost 40% of the ground is rented. More than half of all cropland is rented, while 25% of pasture is rented each year. Visit ers.usda.gov to learn more.
A successful calving season starts the clock for productivity for the entire beef production chain. While the industry has made strides toward lowering birth weight and improving calving ease, Dan Scheich with the University of Illinois says balance is key. His research recommends using a multi-trade approach to meet the needs of your operation and environment.
Absolutely, heavy birth weight and problems with calving are costly. You can lose the calf, you can lose the cow, and if a cow has trouble calving, she doesn't rebreed as fast. So we know that that costs the industry money. But we may not be totally sure what it's costing us if we get them too small. Vigor can be an issue. And we know if calf vigor is an issue and they don't get up and get going, get that colostrum early on when they're supposed to, that can really pose some issues from a health standpoint. So I think a balanced multi-trait selection with calving ease, with maternal calving ease, all those traits are important.
The nation's role in the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, continues along an uncertain path in Washington, D.C. National agriculture organizations, including the American Farm Bureau and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, have advocated strongly on behalf of the legislation and say the partnership will ensure future trade partners and position U.S. ag exports for significant growth in the years ahead. The TPP trade agreement involves 12 nations, including Japan, Canada, Mexico, and Vietnam, but not China. President Obama has stressed urgency for Congress to vote on the agreement during the lame duck session following the November elections. The president's push has been met with hesitancy by many congressional leaders, and both presidential nominees, Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton, oppose the TPP agreement. We'll bring you more on the story as it develops. We go now to Jenna McCrell for a look at the week's top headlines.
For more than 35 years, the Angus Foundation has rallied support for Angus education, youth, and research to empower the future generations of the Angus breed and its members. Each year, the organization says thanks to its generous donors through a special supporter recognition event held during the Angus Convention. Supporters who have contributed $250 or more during the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th, will be invited to attend the event on Friday, November 4th at the downtown Indianapolis Marriott. Visit angusfoundation.org to submit a donation online and make plans to attend the supporter recognition event. And if you're planning an Angus sale this fall, be sure to contact the American Angus Association and request a complimentary sale day kit, which includes educational resources, posters, and information on association programs and services. Submit an order today to ensure it arrives on the ranch in time for sale day. The kits come in 3 types, one tailored specifically toward female sales, another for bull sales, and a third for bull and female sales. Learn more at angus.org. And that's what you need to know this week in the Angus business.
Thanks, Jenna. When we return, meet the dream team for raising quality beef.
And what's in store for the future with Angus Genetics Incorporated, plus a look back to the early days of performance testing cattle.
Visit angus.media to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
The Angus Report is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the makers of Safeguard Cattle Dewormer. Healthy cattle perform better. Add Safeguard, add pounds. Contact your veterinarian or animal health supplier today.
This isn't a 9-to-5 job. So when you check the pens one last time, put away the tools, and make sure everything's ready to hand off to the night crew. It's not the clock that tells you the day is over. It's the confidence of knowing you got it right. It's having one less thing to worry about when the sun goes down. So when you see the signs of BRD, choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health. Talk to your veterinarian about Zuprevo for BRD treatment.
Horn flies cost cattle producers nearly $1 billion a year. They interrupt grazing, cause loss of blood, and impact your bottom line. By incorporating Alticid IGR into your supplement program, you can prevent the emergence of adult horn flies. Alticid IGR will significantly reduce stress on your cattle. For pennies a day, you can control the most costly parasite and increase your profitability. Contact your feed supplier to incorporate Alticid IGR today.
Angus breeders, predictability is now more affordable. Introducing the I50K from Zoetis, a genomic test that allows you to dig deeper for untapped herd potential. Access genomic information on even more animals for less cost without sacrificing accuracy. I50K from Zoetis helps you make more informed decisions sooner and better match your females to that perfect sire. To learn more, visit i50k.com.
We stand for what we believe in. We believe in you. It's more than a job. It's your way of life. Who you are, where you live, and what you do. The way you treat your cattle, your family, your employees, and your neighbors. The water you drink, the air you breathe, and the ground you walk on. What you do every day gives families something to gather around every night. It's about doing what's right for your cattle, your land, your community, and your business. It's your livelihood, and it means as much to us as it does to you. We all believe in responsible beef. Let's stand together at responsiblebeef.com.
California, the High Sierras, the Pacific Blue. It's also a leading source for registered Angus seed stock. This fall, make California your first Angus choice. September and October offer more than 30 sales from some of the best breeders in America. And they've got quality Angus cattle that are performance and genomically tested and ready for work. To learn more about these breeders, visit CaliforniaAngus.com. California, your first Angus choice.